Oh, Sasha, hey there, how's it going? I bet that you're looking pretty pregnant right about now, aren't you?
Hey there, Donna. Yes, I'd say I've gotten pretty big now. The baby bump is certainly noticeable. For anyone with eyes, really.
Well, I heard that you were really nervous about how you were going to raise the child. I even heard that you were asking your mother-in-law for help or any tips that she might be able to give you.
That is very true. I did go to her and ask for some help with this. I mean, this is my first child after all, so I just feel like there are going to be so many things that I don't know. But thankfully, Linda listened to all of my worries and was very good at calming me down and making me feel better.
I see. Well, yeah, I guess that she would be pretty good at that, considering the fact that she's been a mom for decades now. But you know, you could have also come to me and asked for advice too. I'm also a mom, don't you know? Besides, we're basically like sisters, so there's no need to feel embarrassed about asking for a little friend's advice, right? I mean, after all, I'm your brother-in-law's wife. We're basically family, don't you think?
I really do appreciate you offering to help me when I'm nervous, Donna. But I actually really just happened to be visiting Linda when I asked her. It wasn't like I went out of my way to ask her advice specifically.
Wait, hold on a second. Just how often are you meeting with Linda?
Well, I guess pretty often now that I think about it. I mean, you know how easily sick I get, right? Well, she actually comes over to my house pretty often to help me keep the place clean and running. And so I guess we do actually end up spending quite a bit of time together like that and just talk about whatever is on our minds.
Is she coming over to your place because of how often you get sick? Doesn't that make you worried about your pregnancy at all? I mean, are you worried that your condition might affect the baby or something?
Yes, of course I'm nervous about that. I get so worried about my baby. So, I have done all I can to follow the doctor's advice as close as possible in trying to do this the right way.
Wow, I see. I guess I never knew just how fragile your body really was. I mean, you know that I've had 5 kids by this point, right? I never had any problems with a single one of them. They all just popped right out.
See, I really think that's incredible if I can be honest with you. I mean, not only did you go through pregnancy 5 times, but now that your husband has been living away for business, you're raising all 5 of them by yourself. I really just have to come out and tell you that I have nothing but respect for being able to do all of that. I'm really not sure if I could handle it.
I guess you are right about that. I am pretty great now that I think about it, aren't I? Besides, you know all the news about people having less kids, right? I just figure that I'm doing my part to make up the difference is all. Which reminds me, I meant to ask you, just how many kids do you think you and your husband are going to have in the end?
Oh, well, for now, we're just thinking of having 1 kid. I don't think we'd want any more than that. And of course, there's my physical health to be worried about as well.
Wait, what? Are you serious? You're really only thinking of having 1 kid? But that's crazy talk.
Is it really that bad? I mean, did you even know that you were going to want 5 kids before you had them all?
Oh, well, I suppose when you put it that way then now. I didn't really expect this. I always thought that I would only be having a couple of kids. But then all of a sudden I got pregnant a 3rd time, and before you knew it, I had 5 kids.
So then after the 2nd kid, the ones after that just sort of came along?
Basically, yes. It wasn't that I didn't want to have them, but by the time I got pregnant, I figured, what the heck? Why not go through with it?
Wow, that is just... I really don't know if I could do something like that, you know?
Really? Is it that big of a deal? Just what is it about having a kid that makes you so nervous? You know that you can ask me anything you want about the process. I've gone through it quite a bit at this point.
I guess I'm just kind of worried about what I'll do when I go back to work and don't see my kid until I come home. And about how much money I should be putting away for them for their future. And then, of course, there are all kinds of insurance things to worry about. I guess really when it all boils down to it, most of what I'm worried about is money. How do you do it with 5 kids if you don't mind my asking? I mean, no offense, but I can't imagine that it's cheap to raise so many little people, right?
Yeah, it isn't cheap for sure. That's why I don't really bother with any of those funds or savings or putting away things for the future.
Oh, really? You mean you haven't really thought ahead for any of your children at all?
I just think that parenting should be an unplanned and spontaneous kind of thing that gets decided right then and there. I don't really see the point in worrying about something that might not even end up happening in the future, you know?
Well, I guess that makes some sense. But what happens if there is some kind of emergency where you need funds right away? You really can never know what's going to happen, especially with that many children, right?
Nah, it really is all fine. I mean, kids go out and play and they get hurt and then they get better. I just let them raise themselves, basically.
I see. Well, what about college? Do you ever think of that? Or what if one of your kids needs special tutoring or has some expensive camp or activity that they want to try doing?
Meh, I think kids find ways to entertain themselves, you know? You don't need to get them anything too fancy. And as for college, I really don't see what you need that for. I mean, the state says you're an adult at 18, so I think my children should be able to take care of themselves by then. They'll be old enough.
You really think that your children are going to be ready to live on their own right when they turn 18?
Yeah, of course. I mean, they would have basically been raised taking care of themselves, so it'll be an easy transition, really. I guess I'm really just a kind of go-with-the-flow person who really doesn't try to get upset when it comes to raising my kids. Does that make any sense?
So you really don't get mad at your kids for anything? Don't you think there are some things that are maybe worth getting upset at your children for? I mean, how do you teach them that they've done something wrong if they can't see that you're upset?
I don't really think it's my job as their parent to do all that stuff. I think our main job is just to have the kids, and after that, they're on their own. I mean, why else do I pay taxes for schools if not so they can raise my children for me, right? Besides, I don't really see any laws saying that it's my job to do anything more than feed and clothe them, really.
Sure, but I mean... Okay, well, do your kids study well in school?
I would have to say no, given some of the report cards that I've seen. And I never ever see them doing any homework either.
So then, don't their teachers at school get mad at them for not doing their work?
No, I don't really think their teachers get mad at them for anything. I mean, who even cares about homework, really? You know what I mean? Did you know that in other countries, they don't even have homework? Everyone knows that it's just busy work to keep children preoccupied anyways. So I just let my kids play and enjoy their life instead.
So then, if one of your kids did come to you and say that they wanted to go to college, what would you tell them?
I would tell them that they are free to make that choice if that's what they want. And then I would tell them to get a job and start saving up for it, because it isn't going to be cheap.
I see. I guess I just always thought it was parents' jobs to try and give their children as many opportunities as possible. So rather than just letting them run around doing whatever they want, you can help guide them towards a future they would want.
Hold on a second. Just what are you trying to say here? Are you trying to imply that I don't care about what happens to my kids?
No, of course not. But it just seems to me that maybe there's not a lot of planning when it comes to them. I mean, you said yourself that you don't save any money for them.
And just who do you think you are to be telling me how I should be raising my kids, huh? I mean, you haven't even had any kids. I don't remember ever asking advice from you anyways. Where do you get off trying to critique how I raise my family?
I'm really sorry, Donna. I didn't mean to upset you or anything like that. I guess I'm just realizing that we have very different outlooks on life. But you've given me a lot to think about, and I really do appreciate that. So thank you for talking to me about all of this. Hey, Donna, are you there? I just wanted to let you know that your kids are all at my house. Do you have any idea what this is about? I don't really remember you saying anything about them coming over.
What are you talking about? Of course I told you that they were going to go over and stay with you for a bit. I'm giving you a little taste of parenthood before you have to deal with the real thing.
I'm sorry, what? I feel like I'm not quite following along. Are you really serious about that?
Well, you were the one who came to me, so worried about being a parent, remember? So I just thought that I'd give you a little taste is all.
I see, but having to take care of all 5 of your children isn't going to make me any less worried about having my own. Besides, taking care of 5 kids all of a sudden is way too much for me. Can you please just come and get them?
Oh, please. What are we talking about? This is going to be a walk in the park for you. After all, you were confident enough about everything to not even come to me for advice first, right?
But the last time that you and I talked about parenting, you just got really mad at me.
Well, that's because you were completely ignoring the advice I was giving you. So since you're that confident, why don't you prove to everyone that you're as good a parent as you say?
I never really said I was a good parent or a bad parent. I'm really sorry if that's what you got from our talk. All I was saying was that I think our views are maybe a little too different from our parents' styles to really have much overlap.
But you don't even have a parenting style yet. Besides, you were acting like you know what was best for my children. So why don't you go on and take care of them and prove that to me then? And if you do a good job, then I won't ever try and tell you how to raise a child ever again.
I'm sorry, but I really don't think I need to go through any of this just to please you.
Are you forgetting who you are in this family? I'll remind you that I'm married to your husband's older brother. That puts me in charge of you, and you have no right to tell me no when I ask you to do these things. Now you are going to watch my children, and that is that. It's only going to be for a few days anyway.
Hold on a second. You're going to leave all 5 of your kids here for a few days?
Well, yes, they're all on summer break, and I told you that I don't sign them up for camps. But I have to go and put them somewhere. So I thought this would be the perfect plan.
No, you can't do this. I mean, my husband just left for a business trip and I'm at home all by myself.
Oh, yes. I know all about that. That's why I chose today to send them over.
But there won't be a moment of peace and quiet around here the whole time that they are here. I told you that I need to keep myself calm so that I don't overexhaust myself while pregnant.
Oh, please. You just want everyone to treat you with kid gloves just because you're pregnant. Well, I'm telling you that I've done it 5 times and I never asked anything of anyone. You should be thankful that I'm giving you this chance before you have a child of your own.
Please, Donna, I seriously just won't be able to do this. They are making a huge mess of the house already. Some of your kids are throwing our belongings all over the place. Shouldn't they know better than to do this to someone else's house?
Well, you know that kids will be kids, right? I mean, they're just having a little fun is all. This just goes to show that you need more experience raising them, so you can start to learn with my kids. Oh, Sasha, I just wanted to check on you since it's been a few days. How are things going for you? Shall I come over and pick them up?
You weren't even at home this whole time, were you? I tried calling you a bunch of times, but you weren't picking up.
Well, I figured since I finally had the house to myself that I would take a little vacation with some friends. I had a lovely time. It was just the break I needed from being such a busy mom.
So you left your children at someone else's house so that you could take a trip with your friends? Well, I hope you had fun.
Well, when you're a hardworking mom like me, sometimes you just need a break. I'm sure you'll find out about all that eventually. But anyways, I'm just glad that we're both able to give each other an important experience like this. I hope you enjoyed taking care of my children while I was away.
No, actually, I'm afraid I had to give up on that rather early. It was just doing a number on my body and I couldn't handle all the craziness going on in my house.
Wait a second. So you're telling me that you didn't watch my kids?
That's exactly what I'm telling you right now, yes.
But... wait, what? What do you mean? What are you talking about? Where are my kids then? What did you do with them, huh?
Well, I took your kids to go stay with their Grandma Linda, of course. I told you that I just couldn't handle them here.
You sent all of my kids to go be with our mother-in-law? Why would you do that?
Because I called her and told her what was going on and that I couldn't handle dealing with all your kids. Then Linda said that she would take care of them for me.
You've got to be kidding me. So you're telling me that for the past few days all of my kids have been with Linda and not you?
That's right. I just knew that I had to send them away since I was pregnant. But I've heard that they were also acting up terribly in front of Linda as well. They even broke several glass things, tore up the carpets, and even destroyed some art in her house.
Did my kids really do all of that? I had no idea at all.
Well, I think even Linda tried to be patient with them at first, but ended up having to call in her husband for help. You did know that Frank used to be a drill sergeant in the military, right? Anyways, I guess the two of them got angry with your children and tried to set them right.
Oh no, this is really bad. This wasn't supposed to happen. I have to go and pick up my children right now.
Yeah, I suppose Linda and Frank are probably wondering whose fault it is that their grandchildren are like that. You three will probably have plenty to talk about when you get there.
But why would they think that it's all my fault? Were you talking poorly about me to them or something?
Oh, I didn't have to do anything of the sort. I think that they figured out just whose fault it is all on their own. After all, why else would all your kids be running around as if they had never even heard of the word manners? But you didn't care about that either way. You just wanted to take your trip, which I was also sure to tell Linda about.
How could you do this to me? I just wanted to give you a chance at raising some kids. I was trying to be friendly.
Is that really what you call being friends? Because it certainly didn't seem that way to me. And I have to say that I didn't learn anything from that experience either. You just dropped off your kids without warning and expected me to be your free babysitter. Well, I heard from Linda that she told you to never talk to her again. I was also talking to my husband, and he said that we should probably keep our distance as well.
But then, that's the whole family. They're all against me now. I can't believe this is happening to me.
Yeah, it sounds like Linda and Frank were really furious with you. I mean, did you even apologize to them?
Of course I apologized to them. The moment they opened the door when I arrived to get my kids, I said I was sorry. But you should have seen the way Linda was looking at me. Her eyes were so cold, and you could tell she was blaming everything on me.
I even heard that Linda called your husband and told him all about what had happened.
It's true, and no, he's not going to be coming back from his business trip this weekend. But he said that he's going to go and stay with his parents for a while.
So I guess if you want to see him, you'll have to deal with all three of them lecturing you, huh? Although I hope you understand how you did this to yourself. Your husband went away on that trip hoping that he could count on you to take care of your family, and you just let the kids do whatever you want.
Shut up! You don't know what it's like to deal with 5 kids. You don't know what I've been through.
Well, whatever it was that you have been through, I hope you at least managed to release some stress while you were on your vacation.
Oh, just stop it already, will you? Did you know that I might get divorced because of you? I even hear that I might lose custody of my children.
Well, who knows? Maybe that might be the best. I mean, someone has to teach those children to behave. Not only that, but those kids need someone who is going to think about their future and make sure they have opportunities when they grow up.
But I gave my children all the opportunities they can have to do whatever they want. How is that any different from what someone else would do?
You know, I thought I respected you because of how many kids you had. I thought that surely you were having them responsibly and making sure to take care of them all. But now I understand that you have got to be one of the worst mothers I have ever seen. I mean, you hardly even do any parenting at all. But at least it sounds like we won't have to be dealing with you for very much longer. Whatever happens, though, I just hope that your children get the chances at a good life that you might have taken from them.
No, this isn't fair. I thought that we were friends. We're sister-in-laws. You can't just do this to me. You can't just leave me like this, please. I don't have anyone else on my side. I need you right now. Can't you see that?
After that, Donna settled down a bit and her texts were much less gloaty than before. Although it didn't change how Linda and Frank about her one bit. After her husband returned from his business trip that had kept them apart, he went to go and stay with his parents to find out about what happened. Donna went over there one day to talk to all three of them, and they decided there that a divorce was in order. Donna tried to protest, but she knew that she wasn't really going to get anywhere. After that, Donna's husband was granted custody of the children, and they all lived with Linda and Frank. I hear that all three of them are being very active in making sure that the children straighten up and fly right. As for Donna, after the divorce, she had to sell her house and move into a much smaller apartment, where she lives all by herself. I can't imagine the grief she must be feeling as a mother, but I wouldn't want my children raised by someone like her. So it's hard for me to truly empathize. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.
Hey Miranda, I just wanted to confirm with you that I was going to have Pauline this weekend. I was going to come over around 10 in the morning on Saturday to come and pick her up.
So you're going to pick her up on Saturday morning and drop her off on Sunday night then?
That was the plan, yeah. I was thinking that we could go to Legoland for the day and stay in a hotel around there for the night.
Wow. I'm really surprised that you've been able to stick to doing this once a month. I mean, Isn't it a 6-hour drive for you? Do you really want to see your own daughter that much?
Of course I do. There isn't anyone in the world who means as much to me as Pauline does. And since I only get to see her once a month, I always want to make sure that we're doing something fun together.
I see. Right. Your life must be really sad the rest of the month in that case, huh? I mean, have you done anything really fun for yourself ever since we got a divorce? You know that you can go out and date other women and do stuff like that, right?
I know that I can, but it just doesn't really interest me at all. I mean, if you're in the mood to be making suggestions, I wouldn't mind taking custody of Pauline for a while.
Yeah, no, that is not going to happen. Pauline is just fine where she is right now, thank you very much. I finally feel like I have a good balance between my work and personal life, and I don't need you interfering.
Alright then, maybe don't go around making snide comments around what I should or shouldn't do with my life, okay?
Wait a second. Don't tell me that you're jealous just because I'm actually enjoying my life since we got divorced.
That's literally not what I said at all. By the way, I read some of those articles that you wrote and put online.
Oh, are you talking about my mommy blog? Yeah, well, things have been pretty busy for me ever since I became a single mother. But thanks to that blog, I'm able to make a little money for myself and let everyone know just how hard it is to be me. Of course, I give plenty of tips for other single parents as well.
I see. Well, I wonder how your readership would feel if they knew the real reason why you were divorced. I mean, you write so much about how hard your work is and how difficult your life is, but I haven't seen a single word about how you cheated and that's why you're a single mother.
Are you really going to try and open up that can of worms with me right now, Frank? You better not be thinking of leaving a comment with any nonsense like that written in it.
Of course not. I would never do that as long as you have Pauline. But I just think that maybe you would do good to remember why it is that you're in this position.
I do not need to take this from a man who wasn't even good enough to hold my attention. And it's not like you can even say what I was doing was really cheating. I was just out having a little fun, and you totally blew things out of proportion.
I'm sorry, but if you have sexual relationships with someone outside your marriage and your partner isn't consenting to that, then that is cheating.
Yeah, you're so wise about how relationships work. But men do that kind of stuff to women all of the time and never get in trouble. So I think that you need to check yourself the next time you want to say something as sexist as that. I mean, just what is wrong with talking to people on a dating app, huh? I really am so happy that we're divorced. Do you know that? Now I can finally live the life I want without ever having to worry about you.
Let's not pretend like everything happened in that app. And besides, you were the one who first sent that message to the guy in the first place on the app.
Okay, we don't need to rehash this whole situation. We're already divorced now, so can we please just drop it already? I really don't care enough to keep talking about this.
Fine, I'm sorry. I know that we agreed to stop bringing that up so much. But anyways, I guess I'll see you this weekend. Please just tell Pauline to have her bag packed and ready with overnight stuff, okay?
And you still haven't forgotten our rules for you getting to see her?
You mean that if I don't have her back home on time, then I won't get to see her next month?
That's right, and don't you ever forget it. And just know that I have a tracking app on Pauline's phone, so I always know where she is. I don't want to see you taking her back to your house at all. Straight to the amusement park, and then straight back here. Got it?
I understand, Miranda. You have my word and I'll do just that. And I also want to say that I do appreciate you raising Pauline and taking care of her since the divorce.
Well, I'm just glad you remember who's really doing the hard work around here. Now you better not let a single thing happen to my precious little girl.
Miranda, do you have a second to chat real quick?
What do you want now, Frank?
Well, I was wondering if we could just talk about Pauline for a bit.
You just had her last weekend. What could you possibly want now? Don't tell me that you're wanting to get a second weekend with her so soon.
No, it isn't quite that. I wanted to talk to you about something else, actually.
What is it? Just spit it out already because I'm not going to guess.
Well, I noticed last weekend when I had her, she was crying over the meal that I served her.
What is that supposed to mean?
I mean, she was like really bawling over this food. And she said it was the first hot meal she had had in a long time.
I have no idea what you're trying to get at right now.
Well, that's the thing, I also don't quite understand it. I asked Pauline what she meant by that, and she said that she had hardly ever had anything to eat that was cooked fresh at home.
Well, she knows that's not my fault. I am way too busy working to have any time at all to be cooking for her.
So then, you guys aren't even eating together at the house?
Are you trying to accuse me of starving our daughter right now? You know that I would never ever do that. I am taking perfectly fine care of her.
No, that isn't what I'm saying at all, actually. I asked Pauline, and she said that she gets plenty to eat.
Well, then what's the big idea of you coming to me with this, huh? You think that I'm not always trying to do my best to make sure that she has what she needs to grow up big and strong? I feed her healthy food with lots of nutrients and never neglect her duties as her mother. That girl has got some nerve crying over whatever cheap microwave meal you served her, calling it your own cooking.
I really don't think that you should put any of the blame on this on Pauline. I just mean that maybe she missed my cooking and that's why she was crying.
Is that what you're trying to do now, Frank? Are you just texting me to brag about how much of a better cook you are? You think that just because you know some fancy tricks in the kitchen that this makes you better than me? I work so hard to make sure that we have something to eat every single day. I really am pissed that you would even say that to me, Frank!
Miranda, I'm sorry, that really wasn't what I was trying to say at all. Well, Pauline was crying and I just thought that maybe we could talk about it as her parents.
And just what are you trying to get at this time, huh?
I get that we're divorced and we don't live together anymore, but we both care about Pauline and want her to grow up both physically and mentally healthy. And it just kinda seems to me that Pauline might be a really lonely child. I know that I do everything I can to be there for her when I have her, but I wonder if maybe you couldn't spend a little more time with her as well? I just think that it would go a long way in cheering her up is all.
I think that Pauline is just over-exaggerating and is happy to have a different environment than my home to be in. But I know for a fact that I raised that girl just fine.
Well, I think that Pauline might be feeling differently about that.
And just what do you know about her, huh? You see her 1 weekend a month and you think you're an expert. I live with her. Besides, she's a big girl and needs to learn how to start taking care of herself.
Miranda, our daughter is only 3 years old.
And in 6 months, she'll be 4.
I don't really want to get into this fight right now. All I'm asking you is to spend a little more time in your schedule with Pauline. I know that you're really busy with work and life and all, so if you want, I could take Pauline off your hands more often.
No. That is just not going to work for me at all. I know how to handle my schedule, and you coming around more is just going to ruin things.
But what about Pauline? I really do feel like she's feeling lonely. I mean, she was literally crying.
You mean that she was crying the whole time? The entire weekend?
Well, no, but what child would cry for 2 days straight?
That's what I thought. So why don't you settle down and quit blowing things out of proportion? You don't need to be in control of every little emotion that she gets through. I'm a working mom who knows how to raise my child, and if you don't think I'm not doing every single thing I can for her, then I don't want to talk to you.
I really am not trying to lecture or tell you how to live your life. But I just also worry about Pauline, and I just want to be there for her if she needs me. I mean, I think that we should both want what's best for her, right?
Alright, that's it. I've asked you to stop. I've asked you to stop over and over again, and you're not listening. You are not going to be seeing our daughter next month.
Wait, what? Come on, Miranda, that's just not fair.
You should have thought about that before you went running your mouth at me. I am going to talk to Pauline about this, and that will be that. This is what you get for trying to teach me how to go about raising my own daughter.
Miranda, please don't be like this. I mean, I've been seeing her once a month ever since we got divorced.
And now you're going to have to wait an extra month because you don't know when to shut up. Don't forget that I do have custody of her. Although, if you really want to see her that badly, you might be able to change my mind with a small donation. I might be convinced to change my mind if you helped support a poor single mother.
Pauline, are you already asleep? I want you to get back to me as soon as you see these messages, okay? And you have to keep this a secret from your mom.
Dad, what are you doing texting me so late? What kind of secret do I have to keep from Mom?
Oh, Pauline, are you still awake at this time?
Well, I was just kind of about to go sleep. I was still on the couch watching TV, and then I saw my phone light up with your message. Did you try calling me or something? What's this you want to talk about, Dad?
Pauline, I need you to get out of the house right away. I want you to go and pack your bag with just essentials, okay?
What do you mean, what's going on?
It's okay, Pauline. I know all about what's been going on. And I just want to say that I'm so sorry that I've never noticed before.
Dad, are you sure about this?
Pauline, can you tell me if Mommy's in the house with you right now?
Why do you ask? What's going on?
Pauline, please, there's nothing to be scared of. I know what's been going on there. And I finally realized what you were trying to tell me the last time that we were together.
So you mean that I don't have to lie to you anymore, Daddy?
That's right, there's no use in that anymore. And again, I'm so sorry that I wasn't there for you before. But from now on, you're gonna come and live with me, okay?
But Mom is really scary. Anytime I tell her that I want to go and live with you, she gets really mad at me. Mommy says that if I go and live with you, that you'll get bored of me and throw me out on the street.
Pauline, you don't have to listen to a single word that your mom says to you. I know that your mom is never home and that she never ever cooks for you, right? That's bad, sweetie. Your mom shouldn't be treating you like that. I know that this is going to be hard for a while, but things are going to be better for you if you're here with me.
You mean it, Daddy? Are you really going to live with you?
That's right, and I'm never ever going to leave you ever again. There might be some days when I come home from work late, but I'm never going to leave you alone all night. And I'll make sure to cook for you every single day. You don't have to listen to your mom's lies anymore. You've been so strong, and I'm very proud of you.
Daddy, thank you so much. I've wanted to live with you for so long.
I know that I should have realized that a long time ago. But we're gonna make things right now, okay? I'm parked downstairs in the parking lot right now. Be a good girl, pack your bags, and come outside, okay? I would come inside and help, but then I think that you could get into some big trouble. So you have to do this by yourself.
Okay, Daddy, I'll pack my bags and then I'll go outside.
Miranda, you and I have got to have a little chat.
What do you want, you jerk? I am busy right now. If this is about seeing Pauline, then the answer is no. I already told you that you wouldn't be seeing her next month. Now, you are going to drop this now, or you won't see her for the month after that, too.
I'm not worried about asking you to see Pauline ever again.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Did you finally find a girlfriend or something? Honestly, you men are all the same. You find another girl in your life and you kick us all to the curb. But you are going to pay child support, know that.
I'm not going to be paying a single cent, actually.
You really have some nerve texting me just to say all of this, you know that?
Well, the reason I'm not going to pay you is because you don't need the money.
Excuse me? You have no idea how hard it is being a single mother. Do you really think that I don't need the child support? Do you really care so little about your own daughter? You're not even good enough to be her father. I am going to write all about you in my blog, you jerk. And then everyone is going to know about how you hate your daughter and refuse to pay child support. You are going to be ruined.
I think that you're misunderstanding what's going on right now. I mean that I'm not going to pay you because I'm taking care of Pauline right now.
What on earth are you talking about, you crazy person?
I take that you still haven't gotten home then, right?
I have no idea what you mean by that.
Well then, I'm here to tell you that Pauline and I are both together right now. I picked her up at your place last night.
You did what? What is the matter with you? Don't you realize what you've done? I am going to call the police and you are going to be thrown in jail.
Oh, you're more than welcome to call the police, Miranda. But know that I'm going to fight you every step of the way.
Fight me? On what grounds, Frank?
How about the fact that you aren't doing anything to raise our daughter at all? I know that you're working, but you're also just letting strange men come in and out of your place. I've been looking into all of what you've been doing this whole week.
You mean you've been spying on me?
I knew that there was something up the day that Pauline was crying in front of me. But now I realize that you're barely spending any time at home and that you've just been giving Pauline bags of chips for dinner. The only thing you ever do for her is wash her when she starts to stink so nobody asks too many questions. But now I know that you haven't been any kind of mother to her at all. I hear that she hardly even shows up to her preschool.
Wait, no, you don't get it. She's just been sick and hasn't been able to have big meals or go to school.
Don't even bother, I already heard it all from Pauline herself. Why even bother lying anymore? I'm gonna take custody of Pauline. I've already called the CPS and cleared her with them. So go ahead and call the cops, see what happens.
I don't believe you. You really think that you can get custody from me?
You've barely even been home since we got divorced. Do you really care so little about your own daughter? How dare you go on and on to me about how much you do when it's been nothing?
Wait, no please, you can't take my daughter away from me.
You abused having custody over her and used it to make her obey you. Well, no, it's not going to work.
Please, she can live with you and you can raise her, but I need to have custody.
And just what would have even been the point of having custody of her then? If you don't even care if she lives with you, then why even bother keeping it, huh?
Because what kind of mother doesn't have custody over their own child? It's unheard of.
Are you kidding me? Is that it?
Yeah, I mean, just look around. Women always get custody of the kids. How do you think it's going to make me look if I don't?
So that's what this is all about, huh? You're just concerned about how you look in all this.
Please, my job was just getting on track and everyone knows me online for being a single mom. What are people going to say when they find out I don't even have custody of my child?
This is just stupid. I really can't believe you. You're not even gonna be a good parent to her. You were just using your daughter as a tool for your own self-image. Well, not anymore. After that, CPS called Miranda to let her know that she was being stripped of her custody of Pauline, and that it was being transferred to me. It was only a few weeks later that a keen observer on Miranda's website picked up that she wasn't a single mother anymore and she didn't even have custody of her child. When that happened, the website traffic plummeted, and she lost the one thing that had kept her ego alive since our divorce. I hear that even her parents found out that she lost Pauline, and when they asked why, she cracked and told them the truth, which only made them more upset. As for Pauline and I took her to a nutritionist and we're on a diet to help rebuild her strength. We both had to make big adjustments since she moved in with me, but more than anything, I'm just glad that my daughter's in a safe environment and away from Miranda. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.